Mr. Rogers, I do hope you can help me. I'm desperate. I need £1,500.
We're only a small establishment, madam. I can offer you 5.
But it's worth 5,000.
1,000 is the most I can possibly go to, Mrs. Travers.
Oh, all right.
Pale hands I loved beside the Shalimar. Where are you?
Jeeves?
Good evening, sir.
Ah, welcome back, Jeeves. You have a good holiday?
Thank you, sir. Yes, most refreshing. There's a letter for you, sir, delivered by hand.
Oh, really? Well, open it up, Jeeves. Let's hear the worst. Herne Bay as exciting as ever?
Relaxing is more the word that springs to mind, sir. The letter is from a Mr. Percy Gorringe, sir.
Gorringe? Never heard of him. What does he say?
Omitting extraneous matter and concentrating on essentials, sir, Mr. Gorringe wishes to borrow £1,000 from you.
£1,000? I don't even know him.
He mentions that he is the stepson of Mr. L.G. Trotter, sir, with whom Mrs. Travers is acquainted.
Well, that's true. Aunt Alia has asked me to put the nose bag on L.G. Trotter and spouse this very night. But I mean to say, dash it, Jeeves, once you start letting yourself be touched by stepsons, I mean, where are you?
It appears not to be so much a loan as a speculation, sir. Mr. Gorringe wishes to give you the opportunity of investing in his dramatization of Lady Florence Gray's novel Spindrift, sir.
Would you back a play, Jeeves?
No, sir.
Keep the money in the old oak chest, you think?
That is certainly the course of action that I should advocate, sir.
Yes. Jeeves, while I'm dressing, why don't you mix me a strengthening cocktail?
Very good, sir.
What, oh, Jeeves? Something is arresting your attention, Jeeves? A smut on my nose, perhaps?
No, sir, on your upper lip. I thought for a moment that a caterpillar had lost its bearings.
Ah, you're alluding to the moustache. Yes, well, as you could see, I've not been idle while you were away. Rather natty, don't you think?
No, sir, I do not.
Jeeves, I had hoped for your sympathy and cooperation. I've been put to considerable trouble and anxiety growing this moustache, but I do not propose to hew it off because certain prejudiced parties, whom I will not specify, don't know a good thing when they see it. J'y suis, j'y reste, Jeeves.
Mr. Cheesewright, sir?
I thought as much. Swilling cocktails, eh?
I fail to understand you, officer.
I'm not an officer anymore. I've left the police force.
Well, be that as it may, this is the hour when it is customary for an English gentleman to partake of a short one. Will you join me?
No, I won't. And I've come here to have a serious talk with you, Wooster. Now, what do you suppose those things are doing to your eye?
For your information, Cheesewright, one does not administer alcohol by the eye or even by the ear. The mouth is the correct orifice.
Not if one's meant to be in training for the drones darts tournament, it isn't.
Ah, yes, of course. You've drawn me in the sweepstake, haven't you? Well, your money is safe, Cheesewright. The Wooster form is as devastating as ever.
We want to win this year, Wooster. Not another dratted tie. I happened to look into the drones this afternoon. Freddie Widgeon was at the darts board, stunning everyone with a performance that took the breath away.
Cha!
Eh?
I said cha! Scornfully, with ref to F. Widgeon. I know his form backwards.
He's knocked off smoking, you know.
No.
He takes a cold bath every morning.
He's forgotten where the hot tap is.
And he never goes...
Yes, well, good night, Stilton. You'll want to be running along, no doubt.
No, I won't. Florence is meeting me here. We're dining with my uncle.
Oh, really? Well, well, splendid.
What do you mean, splendid?
I should like to have her opinion of this moustache of mine.
I can tell you that. It's revolting.
Well, you had a moustache when you were at Oxford. You look like a man peering over a privet hedge.
Exactly.
Lady Florence Cray, sir.
Hello, Darcy. Hello, Bertie. Bertie. The moustache is lovely.
Well, thank you, Florence. How is Spindrift going?
Oh, splendidly. You know it's been made into a play.
Yes, yes, I'd heard about that.
Percy Gorringe did the dramatization. He's made a splendid job of it. Bit of a hitch at the moment, though.
Oh?
One of the backers has pulled out. We need another £1,000. Percy assures me that he can raise the money.
That louse. He couldn't raise tuppence.
I will not have you call Percy a louse. He's very attractive and very clever.
Attractive? Who'd he attract?
Never mind whom he attracts.
Name 3 people he ever attracted.
Darcy, please. Are we going to dinner or are we not? Goodbye, Bertie. Love the moustache.
Are you Mr. Wooster?
That's right, yes.
I'm Mrs. Trotter of Liverpool.
How do you do?
This is Mr. Trotter.
How do you do?
And our stepson, Mr. Gorringe.
How do you do?
Mr. Trotter has many business interests. That's why we're so late.
Oh, that's why.
He was talking to your Auntie Dahlia on the telephone about this magazine of hers she wants Mr. Trotter to buy.
Milady's Boudoir.
Some such name.
No, she was selling?
No, Trotter. Let the waiter put the serviette on your knee. Waiter!
Did you get my letter?
Percy, my dear, would you just check the clasp of my pearls? It feels a little insecure. One wouldn't like to scatter such valuable pearls all over a restaurant.
No, seems fine.
Is this the best table?
Oh, I think...
Mr. Trotter always has the best tables. In Liverpool and Manchester.
I'm sure that's true.
I wrote to ask.
Right, well, I'll get a menu then, shall I? Menu. Brandy, please, George. A large one.
If only I could make up my mind whether to break your foul neck or not.
Break my foul neck? Why?
After dining with my uncle, I saw Florence home in a cab. All the way she was raving about that moustache of yours. It made me sick to listen to her.
Very upsetting.
Shut up!
Right.
Then she announced that she wished me to grow a moustache, too. Oh, a nice fool I'd look with a moustache. I said, you look a nice fool without one, she said. Ah, is that so? I said, yes, it is, she said. Then she gave me back her ring and said the engagement was off. You'd planned this, hadn't you?
How could I possibly plan it?
Your cunning fiend's brain spotted what was bound to occur if you grew a moustache and let Florence see it.
Certainly not. As a matter of fact, I haven't got a cunning fiend's brain.
Ah, that's exactly what you said you did have.
No, it isn't.
Well, if I find my suspicions are correct, I shall know what to do about it. I shall break your rotten spine in 3 places.
No. No, please. Further discussion is useless. You must accept that my decision is final. Good night.
Who was that, Jeeves? Little tiff with one of the lads at the Ganymede Club?
No, sir. That was Mr. Percy Gorringe, who telephoned shortly before you entered. Affecting to be yourself, sir, I assured him that his request to borrow £1,000 could not be entertained. I thought it would save you some discomfort.
Well, dash decent of you, Jeeves. I had to steer him away from the subject all the way through dinner. Did you enjoy yourself at the club?
Very much so, sir. Thank you.
More than I did at mine. After an unspeakable dinner with the Trotter clan, I repaired thither for a restorative brandy and ran into Stilton Cheesewright again, who informed me that Lady Florence had broken off the engagement and that it was all the fault of my moustache. I think I'll go to bed with an improving book.
Lady Florence also telephoned before you came in, sir. She was desirous that you should take her to a nightclub.
What, tonight?
Yes, sir. She specified a low, garish establishment for the purposes of research for her next novel.
Well, no fear, Jeeves. What do you think Stilton would say if he found out that I'd taken his recently disengaged fiancée to a low, garish nightclub?
I imagine that he might be somewhat dismayed, sir. On the other hand, sir, it would afford you an excellent opportunity to attempt to persuade Lady Florence against any precipitate abjuration of Mr. Cheesewright.
Yes, Jeeves, I see what you mean. Yes, the seasoned man of the world, experienced in affairs of the heart, counselling against a rash decision.
Precisely, sir. As long as Lady Florence is unattached, there is always the danger of her turning her attentions towards you again, sir. She becomes what is known in nautical circles as a loose cannon.
There is much in what you say, Jeeves. All right, then, book us a table at the Mottled Oyster.
Very good, sir.
I am sorry to drag you out, Bertie, only it had to be tonight. And Darcy Cheesewright had a headache.
Ah, well...
And I'm going down to Worcestershire tomorrow to stay with your aunt.
Aunt Dahlia? Oh, well, you like Brinkley Court. Fresh air, gravel soil, company's own water.
And Daphne Dolores Moorhead's going to be there.
Daphne...
Dolores Moorhead, the novelist. Apparently, she's doing a serial for My Lady's Boudoir. For how your aunt can afford it, I can't imagine. Daphne Dolores Moorhead's frightfully expensive.
Well, the old mag must be doing well. Oh, I heard tonight that Aunt Dahlia was trying to sell it.
This is wonderful! And what horrible people! Are all nightclubs like this?
Well, this is about average for the unlicensed places.
Unlicensed?
You said you wanted somewhere low and garish.
Oh, no, I'm not complaining. This is just the sort of place I pictured Rollo coming to that night.
Rollo?
The hero of my novel, Rollo Beaminster. He's in a wild mood, reckless, desperate. He's lost the girl he loves. And he comes to this low nightclub trying to forget, but it's useless. He looks around him at the glitter and garishness and feels how hollow it all is.
Yes. I saw Stilton at the Rose tonight.
Oh, yes?
Yes, he was in a wild mood. He looked about him at the drone's smoking room, and I could see he was feeling what a hollow smoking room it was.
Bertie.
Hello?
Bertie, all this nonsense you're talking, trying to reconcile me with Darcy, I think it's rather wonderful of you. You want to marry me yourself, don't you?
No, rather. Of course. Well, I mean to say, who wouldn't? Good Lord.
All right, everybody keep your seat. These premises have been graded under the provisions.
Bertie!
No need to get the breeze up, just the usual thing.
Won't they arrest us?
No danger of that whatsoever.
How do you know?
All of this is old stuff to me. We give our names and addresses, exercising a certain latitude as regards the details. I, for example, generally call myself Ephraim Gadsby of the Nasturtiums, Jubilee Road, Streatham Common. Do you know why? Just a whim. These formalities concluded, we shall then be free to depart, leaving only the proprietor to face the awful majesty of the law.
I'm sure that's not what happens.
It is, unless they've changed the rules.
You have to appear in court.
No.
Well, I'm not going to risk it. Good night.
Oi, you! Oh, yeah.
Right. You're nicked.
The constable says you deliberately tripped him, Mr. Gadsby.
No, Your Honor. No, I had a touch of cramp. You know how you sometimes want to stretch.
I'm strongly inclined to give you one, a good long stretch.
That's very good.
Silence.
However, in consideration of your youth, I will exercise clemency.
Oh, fine.
Precisely. Pay £10. Next time.
Did you know that magistrates are really professional comedians, Jeeves?
No, sir, that fact had not been drawn to my attention.
Yes, one gag after another, the whole court roaring with laughter, and all at my expense.
A most galling experience, sir. Mrs. Travers telephoned an hour ago, sir. She was most desirous that you should call round to Eaton Square this morning.
That's probably that magistrate wanting to sign me up as his permanent straight man.
Bertie.
Aren't you going to Brinkley this morning?
Oh, I'm just on my way to the station. So I thought I'd pop in and see how you got on last night.
Constabularies scooped me in.
I thought you said they wouldn't arrest anybody.
Well, they did this time. I had a rather testing morning with the magistrate of Vinton Street Police Court.
Did you say Vinton Street?
That's right.
The magistrate there is Darcy's uncle.
The one you had dinner with last night.
Imagine if I'd had to appear before him in the dock this morning. Darcy would have broken the engagement.
I thought you'd done that already.
Oh, no. He telephoned me this morning and climbed down. He's starting to grow a moustache today. Mind you don't breathe a word to him about being at that place with you.
Of course not.
Darcy's so jealous.
Mum's the word.
Darcy, good of you to come.
How are you? Jolly nice dinner you gave us last night.
What I called you about was I had a fellow up in front of me this morning. You were out at Oxford with Wooster. He gave a false name, but I remembered him. He got into a scrape over some blancmange, I seem to recall.
Bertie Wooster, oh, yeah.
Not a friend of yours, is he? One has to be so careful, Darcy, who one keeps up with.
Good Lord, no.
What was the charge?
Nasty business, a nightclub, some girl, an assault on a police officer.
Really? And this happened last night? Tell me about it.
Bertie, you unspeakable one. You very nearly missed me. I want you to come down to Brinkley.
Can't be done, old ancestor.
Can't be done? What do you mean, can't be done? Have you been asked to form a government? You've got to come and be charming to the Trotters.
No. I've already taken them to dinner. I've done my bit for aunt and country.
No, but more is needed. I've got to persuade Trotter to take Milady's boudoir off my hands.
Well, you loved it like a son.
Oh, Bertie, if magazines had ears, Milady's boudoir would be up to them in debt. I've got nasty little men in bowler hats knocking at my door.
Well, I can't possibly come down to Brinkley, aged aunt. If I'm seen within a 20-mile radius of Florence Cray, I get my spine broken.
Oh, you're so selfish, Bertie. You don't know how important this is to me.
Well, you don't know how important my spine is to me. I'm very attached to it.
More's the pity. Well, if your uncle finds out about this, an aunt's curse be upon you. That's all I have to say.
Good afternoon, sir. Mr. Cheesewright is here to see you, sir.
No.
Where were you last night, you blighted louse?
Last night, let me see.
You were in a low nightclub with Florence Cray, my fiancée. And this morning you were in the dock at Vinton Street Police Court.
No.
Don't say no. My uncle told me. He's the magistrate there, and he remembers you from when we were at Oxford.
London's full of chaps who look like me. There's a fellow called Ephraim Gadsby who was my absolute double.
He said you were arrested for tripping a policeman up while he was chasing a girl at this nightclub.
Well, personally, Stilton, I'd attach little credence to the word of the sort of policeman who spends his time chasing girls in nightclubs like the... What did you say his name was?
I didn't. It was the Mottled Oyster.
Ah, yes. Well, I've heard of it, of course. Not a very nice place, I understand. Would a fastidious, intellectual girl like Florence go to a place like that? No. Jeeves.
Sir?
When I came home last night, do you recall my saying to you that I was going straight to bed with an improving book?
Certainly, sir.
Thank you, Jeeves. Yeah, I rest my case. If that doesn't leave me without a stain on my character, well, then I don't know what it does leave me without a stain on.
Well, if I find evidence you haven't been telling me the truth, I shall break your spine in 4 places.
Was it 3 last night?
Well, it's 4 now. And luckily, Florence is going to be out of your slimy reach for a bit. She's going to stay with your aunt in Worcestershire.
Billy, you going too?
No, I'm not. Talk sense, man. I'm growing a moustache. I'm not going out at all while it's sprouting. And don't forget what I said about your spine.
With Stilton and Cheesewright continuing to rake around for evidence of my perfidy, if perfidy is the word I want, then Brinkley Court, even with the Trotters, seems like a safer bet, don't you think, Jeeves?
Well, it seems to me, sir, from your point of view, that Mr. Cheesewright incorporates 3 highly dangerous characteristics: great physical strength, a certain slowness of wit, and an unreliable temper.
You've said a mouthful, Jeeves.
I'm beyond salvation. Mr. Burwash is coming.
Burwash?
He's going to look at my necklace.
Look at your necklace?
Oh, please, Bertie, I'm not in the mood for your parrot imitations. Uncle Tom always suspected that Aspinall's overcharged him for my pearl necklace. This Burwash creature's some sort of pearl expert.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
No, it's not good, you blasted lame brain. That's an imitation. I pawned the real one.
Oh, Lord. What did you do that for?
I pawned the pearls because I needed the money. I needed the money to salt the mine.
First I've heard of any mines.
Salting mines is a recognized business procedure. You've got a dud mine you want to sell to a mug, you sprinkle an ounce or two of gold over it. I used the money to buy a cereal from Daphne Dolores Moorhead. She's arriving tomorrow. L.G. Trotter will meet her, hear that she's writing the cereal, and think, gosh, Daphne Dolores Moorhead and everything, Milady's boudoir must be on stuff. Go away!
Have you seen Florence?
No, we have not seen Florence.
I thought she might be with you.
Well, she isn't. If you find how that telegram arrived for her.
All right.
Dear God. The reason he looks like a dying duck in a thunderstorm is that he's madly in love with Florence Gray. Oh, you might try and cheer him up a bit. He casts such a pall.
No fear, he tried to touch me for 1,000 quid. I turned him down, like a bedspread.
You're quite safe. Florence tells me he's raised the money elsewhere.
Really?
Joy, joy, joy in the morning. Joy, 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 joy in the afternoon. And when it's time for supper.
Otto, Percy?
Hello there, Wooster. Taking a stroll, eh?
Absolutely. You seem cheerful.
That was a new poem. Has your aunt told you that I love Florence Gray?
Yes, she did mention it, yes.
She asked me why I was walking around like a dead codfish. I was forced to confess that it was because I loved Florence with a consuming passion and had discovered that she was engaged to the oaf Cheesewright.
Well, you seem more cheerful now.
Oh, I am. I am. You know that telegram your aunt gave me for Florence? It was from Cheesewright, breaking the engagement.
What? What's all this I hear from Percy Gorringe?
What?
Stilton's broken off the engagement, he tells me.
He has, and I'm delighted. Darcy Cheesewright is a low, mean, creeping, crawling, slinking, spying, despicable worm. Do you know what he did? He sneaked round to that nightclub and bribed some people and found that a table had been reserved that night in your name. This confirmed his degraded suspicion that we'd been there together.
Yes, he didn't, I suppose, hint in the telegram at any plans he had with regard to me.
He said he was going to break your spine in 5 places.
5 places?
Good evening, Mr. Cheesewright. Nice to see you again, sir.
Hello, Seppings.
Mrs. Travers did not warn me of your arrival, sir.
No, she thought I wasn't coming. I had a change of plan.
Very good, sir. The other guests are at dinner, sir. I'm sure Mrs. Travers would be glad if you joined them.
No, I had something on the way down, thanks. I'll go straight to my room and get an early night.
As you wish, sir.
It's a scandal, of course, that Mr. Trotter has never been recognized.
I recognized him straight away.
No. In the honours list, Mr. Wooster.
You only get a bunch of tuft hunters in that nowadays. The trouble in the world today is everybody's out for what they can get.
Oh, Mr. Trotter gives an incredulous amount to charity, you know.
Blasted tradesmen are just as bad. Look at those pearls I bought daily last year. I'm not going to tell you how much Aspinall's charged me for them.
Oh, pearls are such a price these days. Even Mr. Trotter mentioned it when he bought me these.
Anyway, I'm getting one of the world's top pearl men to look at Dahlia's pearls tomorrow, and then we'll see.
It would appear to me that there is only one solution to the problem, Mrs. Travers. If, as Mr. Wooster informs me, madam, the jewellery expert is to be with us tomorrow, then it would seem that something in the nature of a burglarious entry is required, as a result of which the necklace will be abstracted. If the gentleman coming to examine the necklace finds that there is no necklace for him to examine...
You don't have to explain in words of one syllable, Jeeves. Even Mr. Wooster could understand that.
Jeeves, this really saddens me, you know.
eh?
Has that mighty brain at last come unglued? Where is Mrs. Travers going to find a burglar at this time of night? The Army and Navy stores?
I was thinking that perhaps you might be persuaded to undertake the task, sir.
Me, Jeeves?
Gosh, Jeeves, what a wonderful idea.
Hold on a minute.
I'll put the pearls on my dressing table, Bertie. All you need do is get a ladder, prop it up against the windowsill. My room's the end one on the right.
No, Aunt Dahlia, no. 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 It's all right. It's only me.
Shouldn't.
Hello, Florence. Sorry about this. I went for a breather in the garden and found that I'd been locked out. So I thought that my best plan would be not to rouse the house, but...
Oh, Bertie, what a romantic you are.
Eh?
Isn't this just the sort of thing that you would do? I told you I was no longer engaged to Darcy Cheesewright, and you just had to fly to me.
Oh, good Lord, no. No, as I said, I went for a breather.
Oh, but you don't think I'm angry, do you? Of course I'm not. Very touched. Your Aunt Agatha is quite wrong.
Aunt Agatha? What's Aunt Agatha got to do with it?
She keeps insisting that you're a vapid and irreflective nitwit who ought to be put into some good mental home.
Well, all the nerve.
But I know that I can mold you, Bertie. I just hate to think of leaving you in the darkness to do nothing but smoke and drink in that awful drones club and... Who's there?
Me, Darcy.
Florence, let me in.
Darcy, well, I didn't know that you were here. Well, what do you want?
I wanted to return your letter.
And then leave them on the mat.
No, I want to see you.
It's gone.
I must see you.
And at this time of night, I'm ridiculous.
I'm coming in now.
You're not coming in here.
That is where you make your mistake. I'm coming in now.
No!
Here are your letters.
Thank you.
You notice I have shaved off my moustache?
No.
Well, I have. It was my first action on finding out that you had been sneaking off to nightclubs with the louse Wooster.
I would be most grateful if you would take that pumpkin head of yours out of here, Mr. Cheesewright.
Do you think I didn't see through your pitiful subterfuge? How can I get rid of this Cheesewright, you said to yourself? Ha! I have it, you said to yourself. I'll tell him he has to grow a moustache. And you'll say, like hell, I'll grow a bally moustache. And I'll say, oh, you won't you? All right, then all is over between us. That'll fix it.
The door is just behind you, Mr. Cheesewright. It opens if you turn the handle.
Never mind about the door. I'm talking about you and the leper Wooster. I suppose you will now hitch yourself to him. Am I right?
Absolutely right.
It is your intention to marry that human gumboil.
It is.
What's that?
Oh, hello, Stilton.
Come out of there, sir.
Yes, now, you are doubtless surprised.
I will not sully Lady Florence's room with violence, Wooster. You will find me waiting in the corridor.
You can't stay here all night.
One moment. Cheesewright.
What?
Before you do anything that you may regret, don't forget that you have drawn me in the Drones Club dart sweep.
What?
In what sort of condition shall I be to win the darts tourney and put nearly 60 quid in your pocket if you pull the strong-arm stuff that you are now contemplating?
What?
Good night, Stilton.
Bertie, do you expect me to wait up all night for you to accomplish a simple, easy task that a child of 6 could have had all done and dusted in a quarter of an hour?
Well, before I answer your question, old kinswoman, let me put one to you. Why did you tell me that your room was the end one on the right?
Because it is the end one on the right.
Pardon me?
Looking from the house.
Looking from the house?
Don't tell me you climbed into the wrong bedroom.
Scarcely been wronger, Florence Craze.
You'll have to marry the girl.
Exactly what she has in mind.
Dahlia, thought I heard your voice. What are you doing up at this hour?
Mr. Wooster had a headache, sir, and I was forced to rouse Mrs. Travers for medicaments.
Yes, yes. You're out and about a bit late yourself, aren't you, Uncle Tom?
Taking a stroll in the garden, saw a blasted ladder propped up against one of the windows. Got it out the way in the nick of time. A minute later, we'd had burglars streaming in.
Probably just a ladder one of the gardeners was using.
If I may say so, Mrs. Travers, there is always the danger of the criminal element having heard about your valuable pearl necklace.
I'd forgotten that.
I hadn't. It was the first thing I thought. I went straight up to your room and got it. I've locked it in the safe. A burglar will have to be pretty smart to get it out of there. Good night.
Hell's whiskers. Now what are we to do?
Wooster, Lady Florence has just told me that she's engaged to you.
Has she? Well, yes, of course, quite.
But it was only yesterday that she was engaged to Cheesewright. It's very confusing.
What on earth's the matter?
You're not wearing a hat. You might get sunstroke.
I don't see what it's got to do with you.
Your health is naturally a very great concern to me now that I have drawn you in the Drones Club darts sweep.
No. Stilton Cheesewright's drawn me.
There's a lot of hidden good in Cheesewright. He told me that this darts contest is usually a tie, but that you were the certain winner this year. Yet he voluntarily offered to sell me the ticket bearing your name. He's looking for you, by the way. Wooster? Wooster?
Stilton has sold the sweepstake ticket to Percy Gorringe.
I have no time for your tongue twisters, Bertie. Read this.
Regret, unavoidably detained London. DDM. Who's DDM?
Daphne Dolores and Moorhead, you pudding. The only hope I had left was that the Moorhead pill would impress Trotter so much he'd buy Milady's boudoir, no further questions asked. Then I could get the money, redeem the pearls before this blasted Burwash creature arrived. I'm finished, Bertie.
Pardon me, Mrs. Travers?
No, Jeeves, this is beyond even your powers.
Perhaps so, madam. But if you could find someone willing to impersonate Miss Moorhead?
Tosh, Jeeves, who could possibly...
No, seriously and definitely no. I'm prepared to do many things for you, Aunt Dahlia, but putting on earrings and a frock and pretending to be an American lady novelist is not among them. Besides, I've got a moustache.
With lady novelists, that's a positive asset. Bertie, you've got to.
I am sorry, Aunt Dahlia. Jeeves gets these wild ideas about dressing up as American lady novelists and climbing in through bedroom windows. You seize upon them without a moment's thought. And I'm the one who's expected... Jeeves!
Darcy Cheesewright, are you chasing Bertie?
I wanted to tell him something.
Darcy, I'm surprised at you. Now I want you both to shake hands and to promise to be friends.
All right.
There. Doesn't that feel better?
Wooster the homebreaker. Wooster the snake in the grass. 6 places, was it?
5 at the last Count. Yeah, that is firstly up to you, of course.
Why, hello. I'm Daphne Dolores Moorhead. I'm here to see Mrs. Travers.
Oh, the novelist, yes. Yes, she told me all about you.
Why are you two holding hands like that? Is that some English custom?
I'm Darcy Cheesewright.
Mr. Cheesewright? Heavens to Betsy, I thought your face was familiar. You used to row for Oxford College. Somebody pointed you out to me at an 8th-week ball one year. You had a mustache then. I do declare you look so much handsomer without it. Mustaches really are the end, are they not?
Would you like me to show you around the grounds, Miss Moorhead?
Oh, well, now that's really very sweet of you, Mr. Cheesewright, but I ought to say hello to our hostess.
I'm sure Mrs. Travers wouldn't mind.
Oh, I think she would. Wouldn't she, Mr. Wooster?
No, no, not at all. No, nothing she'd like better than you to see the grounds, in fact.
There, you see.
Well, if you say so, Mr. Cheesewright.
What do you mean, Cheesewright's taken a fancy to her? She's Jeeves.
Well, you know how impressionable these young chaps are.
Jeeves can't waste his time with Cheesewright. We've got to get him together with Trotter.
You're a dashed handsome woman, Daphne. Do you know that?
Now, you really shouldn't say such things, Mr. Cheesewright. Tell me more about this Mr. Trotter. He sounds absolutely fascinating.
Oh, I can think of a lot of other things I'd rather tell you.
Well, now, I warned you, Mr. Cheesewright. Mustn't be naughty.
Oh, aren't you a little naughty sometimes?
I'm not that kind of a girl.
What sort of a girl are you then, Daphne?
Well, I think you might be just awfully surprised, Mr. Cheesewright. Oh, please, don't do that, Mr. Cheesewright.
Oh, I know all about you artistic girls.
Mr. Cheesewright.
Oh, come on, just one little kiss.
Mr. Cheesewright! Oh. Some men simply won't be told.
Daphne's last 3 novels have all been absolute bestsellers. Tell Mr. and Mrs. Trotter about the serial you're writing for Milady's Boudoir, Daphne.
Oh, well, it's the story of a young, innocent American girl, just like me, coming to London for the very first time.
Oh, London.
Well, I suppose it could be anywhere, couldn't it, Daphne?
Well...
In fact, it really might make it rather more interesting if it were, well, I don't know, Liverpool, perhaps.
Why, what a wonderful idea, Dahlia. Anyways, on her very first day...
Are you familiar with our own great Liverpool writers? Maisie Fazakerley, for example.
Why, no, Mrs. Trotter. That surely is one of the little treats I've been promising myself.
More tea, Trotter.
Ah, I say, Wooster, what a corker, eh, that Daphne Dolores Moorhead.
Well, yes, she has a certain something, I must say.
She likes me too, you know. You can always tell, can't you?
Well, I don't think she's all that wonderful, I must say.
Oh.
Well, how did it go with the Trotters? You made a big hit with Stilton, Jeeves. You have to get your trousseau ready.
Thank you, sir. Most amusing. If I might have a word with you, Mrs. Travers? I've heard something from Mr. Cheesewright, madam, who had it from his uncle in the Home Office, which I feel may unlock the quandary in which you find yourself.
Oh, Jeeves, tell me.
Well, madam, it appears that Mrs. Trotter is socially ambitious. She yearns to be the toast of her native Liverpool, but she feels she can only realize her ambition if she is addressed as Lady Trotter. But Mr. Trotter shrinks from the prospect of being addressed as Sir Lemuel.
Lemuel, Jeeves? His name's not Lemuel.
I fear so, sir.
He could use his second name.
Hardly, madam. His second name is Gengulphus.
By George, there's some raw work pulled at the font sometimes, isn't there? I don't see where all this gets us.
If Mr. Trotter were made aware that the only alternative to his buying Milady's boudoir might be the unfortunate discovery by Mrs. Trotter that he had already been offered a knighthood and declined it, he might become somewhat more malleable.
He's turned down a knighthood? I should never forgive him.
We've got him cold!
Here comes Trotter now. Aunt Dahlia's just sitting there reading her newspaper. Now, you'd actually broach the subject of blackmail, Jeeves. Somewhat tricky, what?
Oh, yes, sir. There's always a danger that the victim might become obstreperous or even violent.
Sitting down now, too? Seem to be chatting quite amicably. No, Jeeves, he's on his feet. He's waving his arms. He's stalking off.
He'll come back, sir.
Well, I don't think so, Jeeves. He's coming into the house. Delia doesn't seem bothered, just reading her newspaper again.
Mrs. Travers is no stranger to these negotiations, if you recall, sir.
No, indeed, Jeeves, no. No, you're right, he's coming back. Aunt Delia won't talk to him now. She's just going on reading the Times. And he's pleading with her. Oh, yes, she's looking at him now, all right. Jeeves, he's writing out a check.
Perhaps there will be a happy end to this story after all, sir.
He's handed her the check. She's standing up now, too. Oh, yes, it's all smiles now. He's kissed her on the cheek. Good Lord. She's slapped him on the back. Now she's helping him up, dusting down his suit. She's done it, Jeeves. Welcome back, Jeeves. Come on.
Now, Jeeves, take Trotter's cheque to the bank in Bramlingham and pay it in. Then cash this cheque for £1,000 and take it to the pawnbroker's. The address is on the ticket.
Very good, Mrs. Travers.
This valuer fellow's due at 4 o'clock. Can you do all that and get the pearls back here by then?
I shall do my very best, madam.
Splendid.
Bertie, it's Barwash, the pearl expert. He's arrived early.
My dear chap, good of you to come all this way.
Not at all, Mr. Travers. I caught an earlier train. I hope it won't inconvenience you.
No, not at all, not at all. Look, let me show you these pearls I was talking about. I bought them from Aspinall's about a year ago, you understand?
Tom, upstairs, quickly, I saw him.
What, another one? What, the devil's in broad daylight, too. Step in!
How do you do, Mr. Barwash? I'm Dahlia Travers.
How do you do? Do you have a lot of burglars in these parts?
Oh, an amount. They're quite a blight on the area, you know.
Oh, well, it's bad enough in London.
It's such a catchy tune, isn't it?
Yes.
I simply can't get it out of my head. Oh, I can't get it out of my head. Look, there's Tom now. Help! Help! He's fainted! Tom! Can't you understand the simplest thing, Bertie?
Well, how was I supposed
Oh, never mind that now. There's only one thing for it. We've got to steal Mrs. Trotter's pearls and pretend they're mine.
What? What?
He's fainted!
God.
Are you waiting for my mother?
I beg your pardon?
That's her room, isn't it? I thought...
No. Yes, that's right, it is. I am. What a charming woman she is. I'm just...
I've got them. Ah!
What's going on?
Well, funny you should ask that.
No, it's no good. Mr. Gorringe, we're just borrowing your mother's pearls.
Without her knowledge?
Yes. My pearls have gone missing, and I've got to have something to show that blasted pearl expert.
You can't show him those.
We'll put them back immediately.
They're not real. Look, Mother asked me to take her necklace to be cleaned. I needed £1,000 urgently to put into Florence's play. So I pawned the necklace and had an imitation made.
What? Well, I must say, I don't know what's happened to this younger generation.
Percy, you did that for me.
And I'd do it again.
No, Percy!
That's all very well.
Shepherd, get the police! We've been murdered! Shepherd, where the hell are you? Shepherd!
What on earth's the matter, Tom?
Your dash pearls have been stolen. I gave it to Burwash and he fainted. Now they're not here.
Are there any sadder words in the English language, Jeeves? Too late.
None, madam. Well, can't we just say that we found them lying somewhere?
Where?
Well, what are you doing with that razor, Jeeves?
There is, unfortunately, only one answer to Mrs. Travers's problems, eh?
If them pearls is in this house, my men will find them, sir. My men is like orcs.
Orcs?
Orcs, from the eyesight.
What is everybody waiting for? My pearls have been stolen. Yes, Jeeves? What is it?
I regret to say, madam, that one of your maids has confessed.
Confessed?
It's Little Beryl, madam.
Beryl, how could you?
I was tempted, Mum. I only done it because we were so poor, Mum.
I only took her on this morning out of kindness, really. She's not very bright.
Right, my girl. It's down to the station for you.
Oh, no, sir. Please, sir.
Oh, Inspector, do you have to?
Well, it's up to you, madam, to bring charges.
Oh, I couldn't, Inspector. I should have it on my conscience always. You see, she's in trouble. Disgraceful.
Once more, for the 17th year in succession, there is no outright winner. And once again, for the 4th year, the prize is shared by Mr. Freddie Widgeon and Mr. Bertie Wooster.
Ah, Jeeves.
I trust you were successful, sir?
Another split decision, I'm afraid. Mr. Widgeon threw a beautiful dart.
Well done, Wooster. Got to fly, catching the boat to New York.
Oh?
I found out that's where Daphne lives.
Oh, right. Well, good luck, Stilton. You know, Jeeves, I can't help thinking, somewhere at the back of my mind, there must be a better method of deciding the championship than playing the best of 6 games.
It does seem likely, sir.
Perhaps the best of 8 would do it.
Possibly, sir.
10. Exhaustion might get resolved, nothing else.
I'm sure the sports committee will find a way, sir. Given time.